Joe, as promised for the people, a little game of buy or sell NFL futures market. Very, very simple. Buying a team, they go over the win total, they make the playoffs. Selling a team, you guessed it, under the win total, and they miss the playoffs. So I will allow you to start with a team you're buying to go over the win total.
Let's play the public here. Chicago Bears over 9.5 wins. A lot of focus in Chicago on number one pick, quarterback Caleb Williams, rightfully so. But if you're betting this team, you should focus on two other elements. Number one, the defense. Ever since acquiring Montez Sweat from the Commanders at the tail end of last season, 5-3 down the stretch. They had a top 3 defense. I expect that to be a top 5 unit this year.
Okay.
In addition to that, third easiest schedule in the NFL entering the season. You got a bevy of new weapons for Caleb Williams to work with. They don't need to score 30 a game. I like the Bears to win at least 10 this year.
Sharing in the optimism we see in the Windy City with Caleb Williams, now the Bears QB. You've known me 3 or 4 years, and I'm sure you've heard this refrain before. Buy Mike Tomlin to have at least a 500 record, a winning season. Now we have 17 games. A 500 record is not possible, so that means 9-8 is the floor for a Mike Tomlin coach team. It's not about Russell Wilson. It's not about Justin Fields, though I think either of those QBs will be upgraded over what they had at the position last year. It's about T.J. Watt in the defense. It's about Arthur Smith leveraging Najee Harris and Jalen Warren as a 1-2 punch in that run game. I know it's a difficult division. I know their quarterback play may be spotty. It's never mattered with Mike Tomlin. He never has a losing season. I see at least 9 wins in 2024.
If there's one guy capable of navigating the most difficult schedule in the NFL this year, Mike Tomlin would be the guy you'd want to look to.
All right, let's sell a team to go under their win total.
San Francisco 49ers, defending NFC champs. A couple problems I see. Number one, they were one of the healthiest teams in the NFL last year. That's very difficult to replicate year over year. That's why we hear about the curse of the Super Bowl loser. It's not a curse. It's very difficult to stay healthy like that 2 years in a row. They're not going to stay that healthy, at least in my opinion. Schedule sets up very poorly. They're going to play 8 games this year against opponents that have more rest than they do. Think coming off a Monday night game versus an opponent off a Sunday game. Offensive line's a concern. Trent Williams is going to be 36 years old. The Brandon Ayuk contract situation doesn't seem like that's getting any better. I feel that they're ripe for a fall this season.
I'm with you. Plus 340 to miss the playoffs. That may sound crazy, but who would have thought the Bengals were a team that missed the playoffs last year? The Rams coming off their Super Bowl, missing the playoffs. Strange things happen quickly in the NFL. I'd consider that. We'll see if I find it down there. The team I'm selling under their win total, the Lions. Hey, they're the talk of the town now. The big bad Lions go from the hunter to the hunted. Difficult schedule. Fragility at quarterback, even though Jared Goff is usually never hurt. If he is down and out, that will be an issue. And I see 2, 3 teams maybe that improved in that NFC North. You talk about the Bears. I think the Packers are only on the come and getting better, and we'll see what the Vikings are. Just a very difficult division, so I'm under on the Lions.
All right.
Let's buy a team you like to make the playoffs.
Your Los Angeles Rams, plus 105. Interesting, because if you look at a team like the Packers, who you mentioned, minus 165 to make the playoffs. They're projected to finish second in the division behind the Lions, but they're minus 165 and the Rams are plus 105. That shows you the overvalued nature of the Packers and the undervalued nature of the Rams. They went out and upgraded the offensive line, which is big with Matthew Stafford at quarterback. They went out and upgraded the secondary in a big way, which is going to be big now that you've lost Aaron Donald. Cooper Kupp coming back healthy this year. Won 10 games last season. I like him to win the division, so at plus 105, I like him to go ahead and make the playoffs, obviously.
I like that wager there. I also like Anthony Richardson, Shane Steichen, and the Colts at plus 155. Everyone's talking about the Texans. But if we go back to last year, it was like, what, a Week 17, 18 game where a drop pass at the 10-yard line that should have been a first down was what gave the Texans that division and a playoff berth. If not for the injury to Anthony Richardson, this probably would have been the team in my eyes that had the Rookie of the Year at quarterback and won the AFC South. I think you can buy low on a team that is going to be slept on in the AFC South. I love Shane Steichen and Anthony Richardson.
Nobody did more and got less respect for it last year than the Colts. That's because of the Texans loved it. They were fantastic last year, and no one said a peep about them.
Here's a way to invest in them this year. All right, a team to miss the playoffs. You're selling?
Dallas Cowboys. People say it's the Philadelphia hater in me. I'm a self-loathing Philadelphia fan. I hate the Eagles as well. The thing with the Cowboys is problems galore. Top 10 schedule in terms of difficulty. You got the Dak contract situation, the CeeDee Lamb contract situation, the Micah Parsons contract situation. That feels like something that's going to boil over into the locker room. Wouldn't be surprised if they parted ways with the head coach during the season. Jerry's done that before. Think back to Wade Phillips and then the transition to Jason Garrett. Bye week is week 7, all right? Leading into that bye week, 2 home games you're going to have against the Ravens and the Lions. Road games at Pittsburgh, road game at the Giants, but that's a Thursday night matchup. Road game at Cleveland to start the season. They could be 2-4 at the bye, and that's not crazy to think.
I love that one as well. I'm going to show you the Falcons at plus 210 here. And
To miss.
Now, I like the Falcons here, but here's what surprised me at ESPN Bet. There are only 3 teams in the NFL that have shorter odds to make the playoffs. Therefore, there are only 3 teams that have longer odds to miss the playoffs. Kansas City, Baltimore, and San Francisco. You're telling me this is the 4th most likely playoff team in the entire NFL? Because that's the way they're priced at ESPN Bet.
I think a lot of that is based on the division. If you moved them into a division like the NFC North or the AFC North, that would be different. Obviously, no one thinks Carolina's a threat. No one really thinks there's going to be too much of a threat from New Orleans. So it's basically a 2-horse race. But I see what you're looking at.
Listen, the NFC North has been a disaster for a while, but to make them the 4th most likely playoff team,
All right.
I just don't know if I buy that. Sorry to the folks in the ATL.